All right, so if I think about what's happening today in the kind of professional world, especially people who are thinking globally, new ways of doing business, in a lot of ways it just boils down to what are you going to manage and how are you going to prioritize. And I think the two things that are driving a lot of people's decisions and actually challenging them today are how do you manage your information when there's a lot of information overload, and how do you manage your time when there are too many demands on your time and you've got to start making choices. And I think what's interesting when you come at it from a perspective of the professional user, people that you're trying to help when you're providing services online, using the behaviors and activities of an individual to try to help them make those prioritization decisions is going to be incredibly powerful. So either how do I surface the most relevant information to you when you're trying to get business insight, make business decisions, and act on information, or secondarily, how do I make choices about the time and how I allocate it in a day? Those are some of the most fixed resources you have, and at the end of the day, time is one of the most critical ones that you can't get more, right? And so when it comes down to making a lot of decisions on how you spend the time, I think people who help manage that with an informed insight about the user's behavior will have an incredible value proposition.
Huge. Cool. What else do you want?
Well, I mean, I think at the end of the day, what we're talking about there, as you said earlier, is optimization.
Yep.
Right? That's what we're looking to do. Take as much data in, process this, and come back to you with this is the best way to manage your time.
Yep.
I don't know if you want to articulate.
You know, it's funny, if you kind of go big picture and look back and go back 20 years and you look at it and say, what was the real limiting factor for people who were pushing their professional envelope? It was what technology could you put in their hands.
Right.
How do you actually make them more effective by giving them technology? Now the floodgates have opened. You know, I've got the BlackBerry, I've got the iPhone, I've got the iPad, I've got the laptop, I've got the desktop, and then the list goes on. And so how do I go about figuring out how to not constrain what comes through those systems, and so everything becomes an optimization. I think technology is an incredible enabler, and once the enabler is in place, now I think the bar that people are setting for themselves for how do we deliver value to professionals is to start tuning what comes through that enabling system.
Sure.
And so that's an act of optimization, probably at its purest form.
Right. Filter it and contextualize it and make it work for me.
And if I look at ways that happens, there's really only three ways. I think a lot more about information overload, but I think it would apply to time as well. One is, as more and more is coming at you, just hunker down and spend more time. Like, do your email at home at night and then do it in the wee hours of the morning, and you just try to keep up with this overload.
Right.
The second is some form of artificial intelligence. Right? I can go and I can say, some algorithm will just tell me what to do. I don't think that's coming anytime soon. It may happen in a very narrow scope where there's a defined set of acts, and I can tell you which one of three, but I'm not going to walk in the office on Monday and have some system tell me what I should do Monday through Friday on all counts. Or the third is taking some social graph and some intelligence from the collective activity around people that you work with, that you know, and having that provide me an ability to start saying which one should be prioritized.
Right.
Again, an optimization act, but I think that's really where values can be derived.
Cool.
Wonderful.